What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Knothole Gang Franchise. We have episode number 2, I believe, of the franchise, and if you guys do enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more amazing content, because only you, that is right, only you can make a difference for today's channel. And with that being said, guys, let's dive right into the action today. We have an absolute amazing display of a video today. We are going to be covering spring training, some of the guys that shine. Well, not some of the guys, all of the guys. We're going to be doing a quick 5-second recap per player of the spring training, kind of breaking down how each player did. On top of that, we are going to be having our opening day festivities, as well as talking about some of the other things going on within the League of Baseball in this video. So with that being said, guys, let's dive right into the first couple of players, because spring training was absolutely good. As you can see in front of you, our Knothole Gang, as spring ended, we were not a top club. We actually did, as far as the record goes, struggle a little bit in that regards, but they do place us at ranking number 1 in contact and power, and essentially ranking us to be the best ranked team in this. We also are ranked 3rd in defense, a little scoff at the speed and pitching, obviously, but these are things that we are going to be improving on within the season and as the season works its way around. And kicking things off with Ezekiel Duran, that had a .310 average, hitting 3 home runs and 6 RBIs. Moving on is going to be Eddie Rosario at 4 RBIs and 1 home run, just a .207 average. .244 for Luis Robert on 4 home runs and 11 RBIs for him. Adolis Garcia, a well-respected .314 average, 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. Moving on is Joey Gallo at a .206 with 1 home run, 6 RBIs, and 97 at-bats. 91 at-bats for Austin Hayes, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs on a .242. .222 average for Luis Campusano, who also hit 2 jacks and 7 RBIs. 84 at-bats for Emmanuel Rivera, notching 3 home runs, 12 RBIs, but batting near the Mendoza line. .254 Brandon Crawford on 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. And moving over to Nick Senzel, he hit .263 with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs for him. Jackson Holiday, top prospect, not too bad at a .262 home runs and 14 himself. Jose Trevino struggling with a .185 average, only having 27 at-bats, however. .243 average for Edward Olivares, 0 home runs and just 1 RBI. Ben Rortvedt struggling in 13 at-bats, only collecting a .154. Moving on to the pitchers, we have Taj Bradley racking in 30 innings pitched. He got 32 strikeouts with a 2.7 ERA, notching a whip of 1.43. Pretty impressive. As we talk about Paul Skeens, averaging a strikeout an inning on 27 innings pitched with 27 strikeouts. That is good enough for a 4.3 ERA and a 1.37 whip. He is going to be a 2-2 record so far in spring training as it wraps up. Marco Gonzalez also had a 3-1 record. He has 25 innings under his belt while striking out 21 batters, having an ERA just hovering over 5. However, the whip is a respectful 1.08. Talking about ERA not meaning too much, Marco Gonzalez a good factor of that. As Graham Ashcraft not grabbing the strikeouts that we necessarily wanted, only notching 16 and 26 and 2/3. The ERA and whip respectful at a 3.04 and a near sub 1 whip from him. Griffin Canning notching probably what is going to be that 4-5 role in this starting rotation, has nearly a sub 3 ERA while striking out 22 batters in nearly 30 innings. Durbin Feltman is a relief pitcher that we were thinking about calling up. He had a very impressive spring at 14 1/3 innings while striking out 14 batters, allowing a whip to be only 1.12. Talking about good whip, Luis Patino, a .91 whip for him in 20 strikeouts in 18 2/3 while having a 2.41 ERA. Very respectful for him, and very respectful the 40-year-old Jesse Chavez, striking out 21 batters in over 18 innings, allowing just a 1.47 whip and a 1.09 whip from him. A 2.03 from the lefty Josh Taylor, notching 11 strikeouts in just over 13 innings. Also a whip at the .83. Ben Joyce had a phenomenal spring training with 12 1/3 innings while he struck out 11 batters. His ERA is going to sit at a 2.19. The whip is scary, however, at a 1.70. Did walk a decent bit of batters. That is going to be the highest whip, I do believe, of all of our bullpen arms. Dory Moretta is going to notch himself at 14 innings in spring while striking out 16 batters. That is good for an ERA of 4.3 and a whip of 1.3. Jorge Lopez, now next batter. Phenomenal spring from him. A whip of just .81 ERA entering that 3 era. We have 10 strikeouts over 8 2/3. Potential closer setup role in Jorge Lopez, while we move over to Jose Quijada. Only got 5 innings, but did well in those 5 innings, striking out a batter per inning, while an ERA of only the 1.80 and a whip of 1.2. Pretty average for such a small sample size. Not much to really talk about with that. Liam Hendriks, however, in 12 innings, notched 19 strikeouts, only allowing a whip of .58 and a sub-1 ERA hovering at .75. Liam Hendriks, despite the age, looking very good and is looking like the main closer, at least to start out the season. It is also worth noting that Tony Gonsolin, Michael Lorenzen, and Max Fried, for the most part, barely racked up any innings. I just kind of wanted to notice that those are going to be the guys that are your starting 3. You're taking a look at those. Tony Gonsolin, Michael Lorenzen, and Max Fried are going to be 3 guys that are definitely going to be in the rotation as we move things along. Again, I just wanted to include that because we also had guys like Taj Bradley, Paul Skeens, Marco Gonzalez, Graham Ashcraft, and Griffin Canning all also fighting for those 4 and 5 spots. I will say right now, Griffin Canning is one of the guys that did make the opening day roster, so he is going to be notched for that 4 spot. It is also worth noting with that. As we talk about opening day and some of the moves, our opening day matchup is scheduled, and it is looking like this. We have our lefty in Max Fried taking on the Oakland Athletics, a reshaped, resurged Oakland Athletics, as this team is looking much better, as they are packed with players like Nathan Eovaldi, who is going to be the rubber match for Max Fried. They also pack Aaron Judge in that lineup. As we take a look at the rotation for the Knothole Gang as opening day emerges, we have Max Fried, Michael Lorenzen, Tony Gonsolin, Griffin Canning, and Taj Bradley breaking into the roster as that 5 guy. We also have Graham Ashcraft, Marco Gonzalez are going to be the long relievers, going to be using those guys in like 3 inning rules, very similar to that. Ashcraft going to be handling the righty blunt of it, while Marco Gonzalez handles the lefties. Jesse Chavez, Dory Moretta, Jose Quijada are going to be the middle of the rotation guys, while Jorge Lopez and Josh Taylor are going to be setting up Liam Hendriks in the closing role. It is a pretty decent as well as we could get while we allow some of those guys to develop in the minors. Those guys will be getting called up respectfully as the season comes ahead. As we take a look at the depth chart, we're going to be moving this very fast. We have Luis Campusano is going to be the starting catcher. Backup is going to be Jose Trevino, followed by Eddie Rosario, who's going to be mainlining most of the DH role, also going to be playing a little bit of corner outfield when we need him to. Joey Gallo is going to be the first baseman. Ezekiel Duran is going to be the second baseman. Brandon Crawford, until we feel that it is necessary to give the starting role to Jackson Holiday. Brandon Crawford is going to be showing him a couple things. Having that veteran presence around Holiday is going to be a nice little thing to be able to add and hopefully improve on some of that defensiveness that we would like to see Holiday do. Emmanuel Rivera, Holiday, and Senzel, all potentials to be platooning around third, as the outfield is going to be Austin Hayes, Luis Robert Jr., Adolis Garcia, and Edward Olivares as the backup, as well as Eddie Rosario. Taking a look now, some of the top budget guys that we do have in the team, it is worth noting we are going to be paying $15 million for the next 2 years to Max Fried. Then that bumps up to $17.4 million. He is the top budget arm of this entire rotation. Following that is going to be Michael Lorenzen signing a $7.6 million deal with us in free agency. Adolis Garcia with 7, Marco Gonzalez, Luis Robert, Austin Hayes, and Liam Hendriks, all rounding out the budget guys, some of those top expensive arms. As we take a look at the opening day lineup brought to you right here in front of you is going to be against the Oakland Athletics. As we take a look, it is Austin Hayes rounding things out. Emmanuel Rivera is going to be starting opening day, at least at the third baseman. Adolis Garcia is going to be the 3-hitter playing right field, where Luis Robert Jr. is going to be the center fielder. Eddie Rosario in that DH role batting 5. Luis Campusano right behind him catching in the 6th spot. Ezekiel Duran is going to be batting 7th playing second base. Joey Gallo, the first baseman, down in the lineup, trying to get him to see a little more balls, maybe draw some more walks, be a little more patient back there. And rounding things out respectfully is Brandon Crawford. As we jump into opening day, before that, it is worth mentioning and talking about the Oakland Athletics lineup that is impressive, to say the least, for Oakland. They have Jace Peterson rounding things at the top of this order. He's going to be playing a second base, leading things off. Followed right behind him is going to be center fielder Jake Myers. DHing on the day is going to be Aaron Judge. Right behind him is going to be third baseman and multi-time Gold Glove winner Nolan Arenado. In the 5 spot is going to be Ryan Mountcastle. Left field is going to be Dalton Varsho. Followed behind them is going to be Jake Rogers catching in behind the battery. Ramon Laureano is going to be the right fielder, remaining home and coming back home to Oakland, and rounding it all out is shortstop Aledmys Diaz, as we are moments away from first pitch right now. And ladies and gentlemen, opening day ceremonies are here. Both teams lined up and ready for first pitch coming. We are in for an absolute amazing day of baseball. It is an overcast day, but it is a beautiful day for baseball regardless here in Oakland. What is potentially going to be one of the final years at the Coliseum. The fantasy draft underway, a newly shaped Oakland team. Is it going to be enough to keep the Coliseum together, or is this going to be one of the final send-offs a team will ever be able to give to the Coliseum? In that regards, though, a new team is emerging, and it is the Cooperstown Knothole Gang, looking to make an impact in their first season as a Major League Ball Club organization. They are not yet in front of a home crowd, but this is going to be good enough for them. They are excited. A brand new look team jumping into what is their first ever Major League opening day. Players are excited to be a part of history here in what is going to be and should be an absolute impressive pitching duel. We have Nathan Eovaldi going up against Max Fried and leading things off for the game for the Knothole Gang. First batter is going to be Austin Hayes. He is facing, yet again, like we said, Nathan Eovaldi. Last year had a respectful 12-5 record in just 144 innings pitched and had 132 strikeouts. Strikeouts were a little bit down from Eovaldi, but his first batter, Austin Hayes, has him in a 1-2 count. Eovaldi's first pitch delivers, and that is smacked the other way. And would you believe it, the first batter of the game is going to get the first ever hit for the Knothole Gang. That one's going to go in the mantle of the owner somewhere, as next batter is going to be Emmanuel Rivera, who lazily flies out to the left fielder there. It is one out in the first now for Adolis Garcia, and that one well past him in a late swing from Garcia. That is the first strikeout of Eovaldi's night. Next batter, Luis Robert, freezes him up on one that dots the bottom of the zone in there regardless. It is 2 strikeouts for Eovaldi, as Max Fried would be his rubber match against him. He had an 8-1 record last year in 14 games, had a 2.55 ERA, very respectful, while striking out 80 batters over those 77 2/3 innings. That is good enough for a whip of a 1.13. His first batter is Jace Peterson, the 0-2, and a nasty 12-6 curveball cleans him up and handles business. That is first strikeout for Max Fried. Next batter is Jake Myers, now the righty, and that 12-6 is working. Back-to-back strikeouts to begin this game for Max Fried. You are going to see that it is a common theme in today's game, as Fried's next batter tries to get this one past Judge. He smacks it right back to the pitcher Fried, and that is quick work in the inning. As we move things right along, Eddie Rosario, next batter, and that one, Eovaldi says, I got curveballs of my own. That is going to be his third strikeout of the day. Looking at the pitch sequence, fastball, another fastball, and then breaks it down with a splitter, fouled off, and then a strikeout with the curveball. A nice sequence by Eovaldi there. Next batter is Campusano. He is going to lazily flare this one to center field, and it is just not going to get into the outfield green. That is going to be a pop out for Campusano. Next batter is Duran, and that splitter does its job. That is a quick inning for Eovaldi. Next batter, Nolan Arenado. A diving attempt by Duran, but that is the first hit for the Oakland Athletics in this one, coming off the bat of Nolan Arenado. Now up, Ryan Mountcastle. That is a circle change. They say he goes around, and another strikeout for Max Fried, collecting his third strikeout. Dalton Varsho would be next up. He's going to ground this one into into an easy double play, fed off the start of it by Joey Gallo to the relay man. That was Brandon Crawford, who is now back up to bat. The 3-2, he's going to slap this one the other way, but Gold Glove to Gold Glover. That is going to be a very nicely defensive play by Nolan Arenado, making things like this look easy. A beautiful diving stop makes the throw easily, and that is going to bring up Austin Hayes with 2 outs in the top of the third, and he is going to hit this one well. It has some carry, but a well-defended left fielder is going to get that. Dalton Varsho able to track that one down well. We are through the top of the third, moving into the bottom half, and Aledmys Diaz would be the batter with 2 outs in the third, and Rivera snags this one. Jump throw, and an athletic throw by Rivera gets through the third inning. That is Fried's third inning of work as well, as both teams only allowing 1 hit, pitchers having themselves a duel to start things. As we move into the bottom of the fourth, there's no one out. Jace Peterson struck out before. You're going to strike out again. That is 2 strikeouts now for Fried, and Peterson alone, his 4th strikeout total. Jake Myers would be the next batter. He's going to slap one to Joey Gallo. That is an easy force out by Joey Gallo. Next batter is going to be Aaron Judge. Ripped one back up to Fried previously. This one he's going to rip up to the middle, but Duran fields it. Strong arm by Duran, gets it there in time. We are through 4 innings of work now, trying to get things going. Still only 1 hit per side. As we move things along, Eddie Rosario in top 5. He's got a chance to do some damage, and he's going to do just that. That is a base hit for Eddie Rosario to lead off the inning. Things looking good for the Knothole Gang, but not before Luis Campusano hits this one well. But again, Varsho, great range, shows off the athleticism. That is good enough to allow Eddie Rosario to tag up, however. A little lackadaisical in left field, but Eovaldi bounces back. A strikeout by Duran. Second time he's got him. That is of Eovaldi's 5th strikeout. Now call it his 6th strikeout. A little bit of emotion on the mound as he gets Gallo, as there was a runner in scoring position, and Eovaldi is feeling himself in his new threads. As Max Fried, however, also doing his own thing. High fastball against Nolan Arenado. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. That one gets him past to roll the dice. Ryan Mountcastle swing and a miss. That big bender being a big theme for Max Fried as he notches his 6th strikeout in this one. Dalton Varsho, bottom 5, 1-2. Joey Gallo is there. Lazily throws it to Fried. Says, I'm not running to first base. You got that one, big guy. That is going to move us along top 6. We have a runner at first base. This is skied to center field. That is not going to allow the runner to advance. The runner reaching by way of base on balls, in case anyone was wondering. But Garcia does not matter. Swing and the miss, and you guessed it, Eovaldi still grooving things along. Our own pitcher, Max Fried, only 47 pitches as he's approaching the bottom of the 6th with just 1 out. Make it 2 outs. That's going to catch Ramon Laureano looking. That is his 7th strikeout of the day. Aledmys Diaz, next batter. That one, Duran fields it nicely. A clean play to end the inning. 6 solid frames from Max Fried now. As things are getting later and later, Knothole has 3 hits. Athletics still only with the 1. Trying to tally things and get things moving along. Luis Robert, he's going to hit one hard. Arenado cannot get to that one. It is yet again another inning where we get a leadoff runner with nobody out. Eddie Rosario would be the batter, but Robert's going to go off to the races. That one is going to get in just in time, and that is a stolen base for Luis Robert Jr. As later on in the at-bat, Eddie Rosario would go down swinging. That is going to be the first strikeout of the inning by Eovaldi, his 8th so far. Campusano, next batter, hits this one up the middle. It is good enough to advance the runner to third. The scoring and leading run now 90 feet away for Duran. 2 strikeouts so far for him. He is going to lazily fly this one to left field. Offense not getting things done for the Knothole Gang, as Fried doing what he can. He's going to push himself into the 7th, and Jace Peterson gaps this one. That is at least going to be a double, as Garcia has a strong arm, gets it in there before it can make itself be any more dangerous. Now Jake Myers, next batter, he's going to hit this one over to the left side of the infield. Brandon Crawford fields that one cleanly. That is out number 1, making it runners still in scoring position for Aaron Judge. And a diving attempt by Gallo. That one is going to go opposite field down the line, and it is an RBI double for Aaron Judge. That is going to give the Oakland Athletics a lead late in this one. Max Fried, the 3-2 count to Nolan Arenado, is going to notch out number 2 in the inning, moves Judge 90 feet there, and still trying to get out of the inning. Ryan Mountcastle would be the batter. High cheese gets him. 7 frames done for Max Fried, does allow the base runner to score in that one. 3 hits now for Oakland. Knothole Gang with 4 as we head later into the frames. Joey Gallo, the 3-2 here. Nathan Eovaldi still dealing my oh my. And we got another strikeout there. Brandon Crawford, however, he lines this one right up the middle. He is not going to strike out, as that is a base runner in back-to-back innings. The Athletics trying to get things going. That is going to be it for Nathan Eovaldi, as the Knothole Gang is going to push him out finally, and he nearly goes into the 8th inning completely, going 7 1/3. Still a very impressive outing for Nate Eovaldi regardless, as his replacement would be Brustar Gratterall in 67 innings a third. He had a very fantastic outing for the Dodgers, as he is going to allow a passed ball while pitching to Austin Hayes, moves the runner into scoring position. Hayes hits this one, and a diving stop by the shortstop Diaz is potentially going to save the run from even being able to think about scoring, and then Rivera spikes this one and kills a couple Worms families. That is going to be the end of the 8th. Still no score for the Knothole Gang. Athletics have just the one. Max Fried would try to remain in the game into the 8th inning, but Austin Hayes is going to flare that one. It is a base hit to the outfield, and that is going to allow Fried to still keep on pitching. But right here, a liner is going to allow Fried to get the first out of the inning. We are still having 1 runner on first base. Moving things along, Ramon Laureano swing and a miss, and we are 1 out away from Fried going 8 solid innings while he's notched his 9th strikeout. Why not 10? Max Fried goes all 8 innings. It is up to the offense to try to be able to push it into the 9th. Fried gives it his all, 10 strikeouts on 8. But here comes Timmy Trumpets himself, a return from what was a injured 2023 season. New look, new threads, same old Edwin Diaz coming out to slam the door for Oakland. A very respectful 1.31 ERA in the 2022 season. His first batters would be the big guys, and he's going to shatter the lumber of Adolis Garcia. Go back to the dugout and find a new one. Luis Robert is going to be able to draw a walk, so we do get a base runner in the inning, an important one, as Eddie Rosario can't keep up with the heat. That one down the middle doesn't matter. Diaz is challenging batters in this one. Campusano, next one up, swing and a miss. And the Oakland Athletics take game number 1 here in front of their hometown faithful. In the next episode, we're going to be covering games 2, 3, and 4 in this series. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this episode, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more amazing content, because only you, that is right, only you can make a difference. And thank you guys so much for watching. See you all in the next one. Bye-bye.